Hello everyone, welcome back. Astonation Autoworld here. So on the episode today, we want to look at how easy or simple can it be for you to change your own brake pads. If your technician is doing it, how simple or how fast can they do it? So welcome on board. First of all, you need to jack up your car, and this is something you can also still do it at home. So we'll jack up the car like so, and then get off the wheel. For me here, we are using a 12-volt impact range, so just to make things faster. Yeah, so get the lug nuts out, get your wheel off. If you're doing it at home, you need to have jack stands to put your car on. If not, then you can just have the car on the jack, and then just push that wheel under the car for security in case the car drops down. And now we're here. Yeah, so this is the brake caliper assembly. The brake pads are in here. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to undo these retaining clips or retaining springs. So the purpose of these ones is just to make your brake pads and caliper firmly together, so that when you are moving about over bumpy surfaces, you don't have rattling noises coming from your brakes. Yeah, so just put that aside. So getting here, you have these dust covers. You undo them. There's two for the guide pins. There's one at the bottom as well. This one here, you take it out. And then in here for VW and most of the European cars, you'll find the guide pins are secured by caliper assembly on the hub assembly. Yeah, so like so for the upper one and also for the lower one. You really can't see the lower one from this end, but yeah, you just believe I'm doing it right. Cut. The next bit you want to do is push the piston back to make sure that the brake pads are free. So you can just pry it away using a screwdriver like so. The piston will go back to just allow you enough space for you to be able to slide in the new brake pads. Yeah, after getting the guide pins out, pushing back the piston, so now you're sure that your caliper is free, your pads can come out. So just lift up your caliper. You can hang it somewhere here. Make sure it doesn't drop because you may damage or break the brake line. So get the pad out. You can see here, you can inspect the wear on the pads over here. Yeah, not badly gone, but just on the edge. Yeah, you can see they had begun riding on the circumference of the disc here rather than working on the disc itself. So this is what makes your brakes start squeaking or producing some funny noises when you brake. Yeah, so that pad out. The hind one is still remaining here because it has some retaining clips on the piston. So you just undo that. Yeah, that one out. So you come with the new one. Here are the new ones. This one has a brake pad wear sensor, warning sensor, which goes to the other side of the car, the left side. So for this is the new one. You can compare the size of the meat on it. You can look at the two levels, that and that. So this was worn out. It was nearly going metal to metal. So this is the fresh new one. We'll put it back. The retaining clip one to the piston that way. Yeah, and then this other one comes here. You just slide it over there, and then you come back with your caliper, fit it there. Yeah, so you get it back in place, and then line up your guide pins at the back of the caliper, and then after they line up, you start securing them back the upper one, like so. We will also look for the lower one. Another Allen. I have another Allen. Another short one down there. Yeah. Then just to make sure they line up nicely in the hole. Yeah, that one is in there. This one, as you can see right here, going in like so. Then you just want to make it tight once more, because they rarely come out. They are meant for the piston and the caliper to be sliding in and out for your brake movements to happen. That's why they are called guide pins. So they guide your caliper moving in depending on the pressure of the piston. As the piston presses in, so they will be having that movement as your pads grab onto the disc. So just make them tight enough. Yeah, like so. Yeah, then after that, your brake pads are replaced. Now you come back to secure your retaining clip. Remember, we said this one makes sure that you don't have any funny noises on your brakes. Yeah, so like so. Like so, and then you just make sure it slides back into its original position in the hole. Yeah, and that's it, and that's how you replace front brake pads on majorly all the cars. Because the difference would be, for some you'll have these Allen keys, but for the other ones you'll either have a 14mm or 13mm short bolt that you undo, that retains the brake calipers, and that is the process. So if you're new here, please subscribe, like, share with your friends, click. Okay, so this covers out. One more down here, this one here, out. Back with our Allen key, 7mm for the guide pins. Yeah, that way. The lower one as well. Where is it? Sioni shimo, tanilenge. Is the piston fully in? Just push it farther back. Yeah. For this other side, we now have the brake pad, new brake pad with the sensor here. This is the brake pad wear sensor that tells you if your brake pad is worn out. So there's a warning light that would come on to your dashboard with a message like check your brake pad. So this is the one. So how it works, we have this sensor here with two wires in them. So these two wires are sort of connected. They have continuity in them. So when you have your brake pads worn out, the pad will come up to this point here of the sensor. So if the continuity in the sensor is broken, if the circuit is broken between these two wires, that is what sends back the message to the ECU that the brake pads need to be changed. So if they are not worn, so it's just a continuous circuit of the 2 wires with the sensor. So when that one breaks, that is when a message is sent to the ECU that your brakes need changing. So for instance, you can have that error light or that warning when your brake pads are not yet worn out, because something might happen. You might have gone somewhere and then something clipped onto the wires and then cut the wires. The sensor is faulty or the sensor is broken, so that will give you a false alarm. That would mean that your brake pad sensor is broken, but you still have brake pads in good condition. So that one always needs a visual inspection just to examine how much is left on your brake pads.